On the Entrepreneur this week,
Out of nowhere, I found I had landed about 4 or 5 poles. The game of 1-2 became 5, 5-2 became 20. Now that interest actually grew in me.
then on the second half,
Most of the time, people judge by what I see, and what I see is what you're wearing. My work is to look at what you like wearing, your wardrobe, and coordinate it for you.
These ones are about 2 days old.
for Peter Oyuaya, the gobbling of turkey is music to his ears. Through his company, Kusev Farm, he rears turkey in the sleepy town of Kiserian, some 30 kilometers from Nairobi.
But they're very difficult.
It all started 16 years ago. While his wife was visiting a friend, she noticed that the friend was keeping geese. Never want to let a business opportunity pass her by, she ordered for some herself. However, come delivery day, they were supplied with 3 turkeys, which joined other livestock at his blossoming farm. One would later die, leaving a tom and a hen. Peter picks it up from there.
Once they hatched, out of about, I think I got about 10 eggs. I only got about 6 or 7 poles, of which out of the 6 or 7, nearly all of them died. I was only left with 1 pole, which still finally died. Then that put something in my head. And that time, luckily, I was doing some engineering work outside Nairobi. And Google was not much as it is in the system now. So every time I was based between the Rift area and Western area. So everywhere I saw a turkey, I used to ask the owners many questions about turkeys. And I talked to very many different farmers who had different stories, most of them very exciting, and they were interesting. And now with that, with my 2 turkeys that I had something that I had to sit down and ponder and find out.
Peter's turkey venture did not hit the ground running immediately. Kusev Farm would take more than 9 years for research and development. Since then, the former developer with more than 25 years' experience in the construction industry has not looked back. Like many an entrepreneur before him, Peter was motivated by the independence, self-employment accorded him.
Sometimes you do things because of reason. And sometimes the reason might not be the right reason for you or for anybody else. You remember now when you're young, you've got a family to bring up. They need school fees, you need food, you need sometimes rent, you need mobility. Then you'd realize that needs kind of a job that you must have something that is almost certain from almost a day-to-day basis. But deep in my heart, this is in myself, there is nothing that I have enjoyed than this freedom. To me, this is freedom because I have a chance to see to the birds. I can touch the soil. I can eat a live cabbage. I can eat a live strawberry.
For this serial entrepreneur, convincing Kenyans to consume turkey meat was the biggest challenge to his startup.
Turkey farming, there's a big challenge in that Kenyans, because they don't consume a lot of turkey. For some reasons I do not know what to say, is they do not know much about it because very few people also know much about it. And it is not something that somebody would want to go and find in a place and fetch and want to consume. Unlike the chicken, you find many homes, most homes in Kenya have at least a chicken running up and down. And that's something because they understand what it is like. But if I was to check even in any normal homestead, if it is to be a chicken vis-a-vis a turkey, I think a chicken would be better. After all, it is almost 10 times the size of a chicken, and they take the same time to mature.
Heritage turkey takes between 7 to 9 months to mature fully. A traditional turkey weighs about 11 kilograms, while a broiler turkey, which grows in approximately 5 months, tips the scale at between 25 and 35 kilograms.
These are not broiler turkeys. These are heritage turkeys, kienyeji turkeys, just like the kienyeji kuku. The kienyeji kuku has its time for maturity, and the taste is different. It can forage outside, it can enjoy itself, it has all its own natural freedom. They can mate on their own, they fight amongst themselves. finding for superiority amongst themselves, and that is a good thing, because the strongest or the winner gets to mate, and that is natural. And then you all the time get a better breed.
Kuse Farm rears a Narragansett type of turkey. The birds are known for their calm disposition, good maternal abilities, early maturation, and excellent meat quality. Due to a lack of knowledge by potential turkey farmers in Kenya, Peter has initiated a 5-day training program at his farm.
A turkey, from my experience, is like the flip side of a coin. A chicken is this side, the right opposite side is the turkey. So that is the most common mistakes. From there are other things that I've come across. Now that is now from my experience. I don't want to say much about the farmers because there are those who will give you different scenarios, but still are things that I've passed through my experience, not knowing what stages and how to handle them from different stages of their life.
Apart from meat, the company also manufactures turkey sausages. And in order to avoid wastage, Peter has come up with his own range of jewelry made from, you guessed it, turkey feathers.
Now, wasting was also a problem because even if we butchered a bird or even if a bird died, you had to remove the feather, you had to pluck the feathers. And the next thing would have been just find a damp heap and burn it. Now that, to me, artistic as I was, I found, no. These feathers are not like chicken feathers. They seem like they can do something. So what I did initially was, before it really came to my mind, I collected quite a number and tried to study now the feather itself, because you cannot make something out of something not knowing what actually it's made of. So I did study the feather, looked at it, see what it can do, what can be done onto it to do X or something else different. And luckily I came out with something that can do a lot of things with the feathers.
It is from this that Patera Accessories was born. In a bid to protect his company, Peter applied for and received a patent in 2014. Patera Accessories is more than just necklaces, earrings, and bracelets.
Those that are not fertile, we also don't just say they are not fertile, so we throw them away. We have a period of time. Within 1 week, there's what we check to check the fertility of the egg, known as candling. So in the process of candling, we can tell whether the egg has an embryo or not. So those that have no embryo, what do? We remove them from the broody hen. We open them on one end, clean the inside and disinfect it. And we make different items also out of them. Things like candle stands, some jewelry also. So we find at least it gives our artisans something to do.
Owing to his continued contribution to the development of turkey farming in Kenya, Peter was crowned champion in the poultry section by President Uhuru Kenyatta at the 2013 ASK International Trade Fair. So how does Kuse Farm market itself?
The social media is doing a good job. We've got a website, we've got a Facebook page, both for the Kuse Farm and now the jewelry that we make it under a label known as Patera jewelry. So we've got also now a page for Patera jewelry. So basically the marketing, that is, we are trying to see whether that is going to assist us in the marketing, and also moving around, trying to talk to restaurants to see if they can at least see if they're able to take some of our products and see if they can try also introduce it into the market. And then word of mouth.
Peter believes the sky is the limit for Kuse Farm. With his 9 employees, the entrepreneur is adamant his company will change the perceptions and attitudes of Kenyans regarding turkey farming.
Well, Kuse Farm, as you see, and I think you're moving around, not to mention names, there are companies that exist that deal in, if you talk of a sausage, everybody in Kenya would know, yeah, XYZ. You're talking of chicken, every company, somebody would say this. In the next 5 years, I think Kuse Farm or Kuse products will be amongst those names.
So what words of advice does Peter have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Think over what you want to do and believe in yourself first. Many people will not believe in what you want to do, but once you believe in yourself, hit the road. It's not going to be easy, and it's not also meant to be easy. But as long as you trust in yourself, you will always go through, and you'll always make it in the end.
Don't go away, the Entrepreneur will be right back.